Around that time when I bought the first property, I was cold calling because I worked in IT. I hadn't started my own business yet. I own an IT company, which that happened a couple years around that time. I was cold calling, and I hated cold calling. I like people, but the phone weighed like 300 pounds. And so I said to this one guy I was trying to sell to, just let's get to talking, what's up with you? And he said, you got to read this book, Robert Kiyosaki wrote, called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And so that was also a big influence. So these two concepts, both that at-home study course, no down payment.
That book has been mentioned on this podcast almost every single time.
I think it's wonderful. It's a conceptual masterpiece. Yeah. And why is because he basically takes concepts of money and he turns them on their head. He basically talks about, a lot of you, and I'm paraphrasing the messaging of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, are thinking about money incorrectly because you're thinking about it, whether you realize it or not, as an addiction where you need to go get that job. You wouldn't even say the word job. It's like you had to spell it because it was a curse word. Yeah. And so, you want to go get that job because you need that feeling of security. But really what you need is you need to get outside of that. So kind of like this call to get outside of the matrix. And so that was really big for me because I had these concepts that I was dealing with because of my dad, don't get a corporate job, but it didn't really have
same philosophy, really.
Exactly. But it didn't have the legs. It didn't have the legs. Kiyosaki kind of outfitted that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So the seed was planted, and then what did getting started look like?